Hello YouTube. Today I would like to talk about Cold Steel and its performance in my recent series. Alright, for this series, now there was a dozen knives in this size category from Cold Steel that I could have easily picked to be on the production side. Cold Steel is one of those companies where you can get super high-end knives in the production lineup, and you can also get extremely budget-friendly knives. So I wanted to see, taking one of their hottest knives, the WarCraft Tanto, and the trusted Bushman series from Cold Steel, because this is showcased as an extremely tough, very resilient, and uber dirty dirt cheap blade. Now, is the WarCraft Tanto technically a survival knife? Probably not. However, even though it's a Tanto and it's supposed to be like a, tactical fighting knife or whatever you want to call it, it's got really good grip. It's got a 90-degree spine. Really good steel, except for the fact that field sharpening might be a pain in the ass because it's CPM 3V. It's got a really good stout tip, very sharp out of the box, and I don't see a reason why this potentially, if you had to, couldn't be used as a survival knife. Now, during my filming, something I wanted to do, I need to try to keep this short, is the WarCraft Tanto is one of the hottest knives. I'm not gonna lie, it was supposed to be like a draw thing, like once people saw that knife and they're like, oh, that's cool, whatever. But I really wanted to push this knife to the test because Cold Steel talks a lot of smack about this knife in a good way. It can be used as a spear, ultimate survival tool, $20, SK5, super spring steel, crazy joint. I was like, alright, cool, let's see what this thing's all about. As you can see, it's a very lightweight knife, hollow handle. But out of the box, this thing is really sharp. A very thin blade, but it's extremely tough. And I was very surprised. Now, you're going to see some destruction out of this thing on the blade. Yeah, massive blade rolling. But do not fault it. It still has its tip. It's still sharp in the non-blade rolled areas. And in my video testing, I actually decided mid-video to be a loser with my buddy Matt, who his company is American Steelworks. He helped me do the filming for this. But we decided to have some fun and try to stab the dryer. We actually made a target on the dryer and tried to launch this for no apparent reason. Now, could that have affected the test adversely and really dampened its performance? Absolutely! But did it? Not at all. There's no blade chipping on this thing. There's significant blade rolling, but it's a very thin blade. So I can only expect this to take so much abuse. I think, like, the thickness of this blade is like the thickness of the steel of the dryer, and I was like, holy crap. So, in a budget-friendly category, and a multi-purpose tool, if you were stuck with only one knife, and you were just given a knife, and it was like, I don't really care, and it needed to be like a multifaceted option for, like, spearing, self-defense, fishing, bushcraft tools, I would be more than happy and not freak out about that knife. Now, moving on to the WarCraft Tanto. Has a DLC coating. As you guys can see, it's still very much there, even after going through metal dryers. Tip held up beautifully. Nothing wrong with that tip at all. It's still extremely sharp. There's a little nick there, which is a blade roll, and there's a little nick there. Other than that, this blade took no damage whatsoever. And that thoroughly impressed me about CPM 3V, because this is my only sampling of CPM 3V, so Cold Steel, good job. Now, the performance differences you see, the coating on this blade stayed on. So did this. Now, I noticed when you jump up in price category from, $25 to $30 all the way up to and upwards of possibly up to $300 for a knife like this. Did I pay that? No. But that's what its retail goes for. I got it for I think like $180 or $190. But still, that's a pretty hot that's a pretty hot hit on most people's wallets. Something I usually notice is the coating will hold up better on knives. The steel is usually better. The edge retention, the overall performance, like you get these very solidly noticeable upgrades in how long the blade will last before damage, wear, breakage, abrasion, all those categories. Now, some people can tolerate this. Like, I gotta say, guys, I'm sorry. For Cold Steel, I want to talk about the WarCraft Tanto because that thing is a freaking beast. But this knife, man, it's so cheap, so lightweight, and yeah, it took a lot of abuse, but I put it through hell. I didn't stick it through game and hunt with it. No, I stuck it through a freaking dryer, which is way more destructive than any, like, using any wood or a live game hunting animal situation, fish, whatever. Dude, this thing got put through hell, and I mean, we were playing man darts with a spear in a dryer. And then we'd proceeded to do the same destruction test that all the other knives went through. So that's why I have to give this knife way more props. I got a lot of comments and messages asking me about, why didn't you use the GI Tanto? Because I didn't feel like it. I do know about the GI Tanto. I have one. I have reviewed it. I have modded it. There's a video down on my feed, so go have some fun and go check it out. However, I'll even put a link to it in the video just so you guys can see reference. I have had it. I know about it. Whatnot. Now, it's been thrown around the block. I have not seen a shiz-a-ton of videos about the Bushman and not a lot about the WarCraft Tanto, especially in ultra of knife abusive testing. So in essence, I hope that answers your question. Now, hope you guys enjoyed the small overview and some of the recap of the performance of these blades within my series, and for anyone who has not seen my series yet, anyone just new to the channel or just kind of missed it, hadn't had time, no worries. I'm going to put part 1 and 2 down in the description box below, yeah. And like I said in my other video, I want you to go down into the comments section, even on this video, extolling the virtues or hating on the Cold Steel. It's your opinion, it's America, I don't care, do your thing. But down in part 1 and part 2, for any of you guys who actually start strolling in and watching those videos for the first time, go into the comments section and tell me which knife you thought did the best, whether it's a custom knife or the production knives, and which brand, like which knife you love the most. Because I want to see which you guys are leaning towards, and I want to kind of put stuff on the channel that you guys are really truly passionate about, and I am passionate about knives in general, so it's not going to hurt my feelings either way. But, hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm out.